What I'm going to do now is build 3 different reports so that you can see some of the features of the Tablix and how to use them, particularly in their different forms, the table, matrix, and list. But before we can get started, I have to create a project and also create shared data source and data sets. Now, this isn't absolutely necessary to create shared data sources and data sets, but once they're within the report project, I can use them in multiple reports. It makes it pretty easy. I don't have to keep recreating the same data set or the same query for a data set if it's used in multiple reports. All right, so the 3 different reports are going to use 2 different queries against tables in the AdventureWorks DW 2012 database. And that allows you to explore the grouping features of the Tablix. All right, so first thing you do is create the report and create those data sources and data sets. So first thing I need to do is come up here, File, New Project. I'll put it in a default location there, and I'll call this AW Sales. That's the same project name that I've been using that contains sample reports, but we're starting scratch. We're going to build reports from the ground up here. Okay, so I'll click on OK, and that creates that report structure for me. All right, first thing I need to do is right-click, add a new data source, and I'm going to call this the AdventureWorks DW 2012. Doesn't have to be the name of the database itself, but that's a convenient way of doing it. It's going to be a Microsoft SQL Server, and then I could type in or paste a connection string, but I'll go ahead and click on this to open up the connection properties. I'm going to go against my local machine, but I could use any machine that I can access on the network. I'll use Windows Authentication. In some situations, might have to use SQL Server Authentication. And then I'm going to select the AdventureWorks DW 2012 database. Test the connection. Looks good. Hit OK. And that generates that connection string for me. And I can click on OK. And now I have that shared data source that I can use in all data sets throughout this report project. Now I want to create the sales by territory year data set. So I'm going to right click on Shared Data Sets, Add New Data Set. And I'm going to name this Sales by Territory Year Data Set. Okay. You can name it anything you want. And then I need to use a data source. There's only one defined within the project, the one I just created, so I'll use that. And then I can type in the query here. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit here and get awful boring if I were to tediously type out this query or even use the query designer. It's a little bit of complex query. So instead I'm going to come over here to Windows Explorer, and I've got these different script files that have the queries already defined. And so I want the sales by territory year. I'll go ahead and open that up in Management Studio. Connect to the local machine. Strictly speaking, I don't have to connect. I'm just copying some text, not executing it. And there's the query that I want. So I'll go ahead and right-click on that and copy it. Come back over here and paste it in. Okay, there we go. So at this point, all I need to do is click on OK. Although there are some other options that I can do here, but this is a straightforward query that I don't need to set anything special for. All right, and there's the shared data set, the sales by territory year data set. I have one more data set to create, so I'll add a new data set, and this time I'll name this the sales by year category subcategory data set. Still use AdventureWorks 2012. I'm going to use the text type, and once again, come over here, open up the sales by year category subcategory, and copy that query, and paste it in there. And click on OK, and now we have the 2 shared data sets.